Welcome to Wrestling Brothers Breakdown.
What's up?
What's up? What's up? What's up? Is that our true song? Yeah. What's up?
What's up? What's up?
All right. On today's episode, we will be going over the All In AEW pay-per-view from Sunday.
Let's just get to the fact. I'm talking a lot of smack, and obviously, I know the numbers aren't on the screen yet, but they will be. Yeah, I didn't do so well this pay-per-view. Let's be honest. It was bad.
Really bad. Yes. So, right, we'll go ahead and start up with the graphics and say, and new. Watch this one disappear. And new Wrestling Brothers Breakdown AEW inaugural Pick'em champion. Boom. Right there. The AEW belt on my name.
Kenny Omega brought me no luck. Blinded by Bryan Danielson.
All right.
Whatever.
We will talk about the 9 matches. We both picked poorly. I got 3, Brad got 2, but we'll talk about that. Real quick before we get into talk about the show and the results and our reviews and the match ratings. We'll plug the socials real quick. At Wrestling Brothers Breakdown on YouTube is probably where you found this. At WB Breakdown Show on X and Instagram. We'll see clips. And if you want to email us, wrestlingbrothersbreakdown@gmail.com.
Let us know what you like, don't like, and we'll respond back.
To all of our 30s of viewers.
Oh, yes. The 1,000 or 30s and... Well, I don't know.
The 20s and 30s of viewers.
The 10s and the other 10s.
And not just our mom. I don't know if she watches this or not.
Oh my gosh, you do wrestling? No.
All right, we are a few days late on this one, but life is busy, so we are getting to it. Better late than never. All right, first up.
Be honest, this might be, I'll be honest, because this might be my first full AEW pay-per-view that I've watched in a very long time.
What did you think? High level.
So here's what I had to think about going in. It's not WWE. And once I got that in my mind and be like, oh, well, WWE would do it this way. Well, who cares? It's not WWE. That's why they're not WWE. So I was actually quite impressed with a lot of things. So it was fairly impressive. Like I was cool with it. I thought the crowd did pretty well.
Crowd was pretty hyped, pretty nuts. Big crowd.
Maybe, little nuances like camera angles and some of the ref stuff. Like I'm like, oh, that could have been better, but hey, whatever.
Yep. There's a few minor things here and there. I'd say I'd agree, but for a 5-year-old company to be able to do pay-per-views that sell out 50,000 and 80,000 last year, to give wrestlers another option that's not just the indies or the minor leagues, this is companies 1 and 2, and like that's why guys can go back and forth, and more guys get to work, and more guys get to make money, and that competition makes them both have to do better. I love it. I like the AEW stuff. I still like WWE. I like their production stuff. I like some of the storytelling in the ring a little bit better on the AEW stuff. So
yeah,
it's a different product, yes, but
job on video packages. I'm like, oh my gosh.
The videos were shorter this time. Sometimes they're longer.
Interesting.
I think they did more on the weekly shows leading up, and there's probably longer ones on YouTube. There were shorter video packages than some of the other ones I've seen. So they had the 0 hour going. I watched like the last 10 minutes, but I was cooking lunch while that was going. I didn't see any of the matches on 0 hour other than the Von Erichs were on there. The same Von Erichs from the 70s or the 80s. I don't know if you saw the Iron Claw movie.
It's been a while.
But it's an interesting story. If you're really big into pro wrestling history, you'll know about the Von Erichs, how all those guys died. But one of them is still around. I don't remember which one. He's back doing stuff with AEW for a little bit, so that was kind of cool to see stuff 20, 30 years later. All right, first up, match of the night was the Trios Championship 4-way ladder match.
Oh, yeah.
This was a big match, high energy to start off the show, and we both called it wrong, but I was still very surprised. It was still a good, entertaining match. I wrote, what are my notes for it? I wrote good energy, good big spots, and then the winners were Pac, Yuta Wheeler, and Claudio Castagnoli. So two people from Blackpool Combat Club, and Pac, I don't know if he's going to be joining Blackpool Combat Club or not. They haven't done a lot with them lately, now that Daniel Bryan's kind of doing his singles thing, but they've been a pretty violent, not bad guy, but just tough guys.
Yeah.
group for a while. So that was kind of a swerve on that one, on the winners, but
Because they were the wild card team that won like the night before or
they were
something,
the
right?
wild card team that won. Yeah, they won on Collision. So when we recorded our preview show, we didn't even have
Yeah.
them as a possibility. We're just like, yeah, nobody's gonna win that, and then
Yeah,
be the
none of these
winners.
people. Like, oh, it's Claudio. Okay, all right.
I like Claudio.
Yeah.
The dude's strong.
Let's see. I picked House of Black on that one. I guess it's like I said, I hadn't watched the pay-per-views before. I wasn't used to the black ladders, like solid black. Like I'm just my mind
Oh yeah.
stuck on WWE. I'm just like, wait, why are the ladders different?
I
Like
can't remember now if they're always black or not.
so, but yeah, there's some really good spots. It was a great start to the pay-per-view. Like you want a match just like this. I'm just going to go solid number rankings. I give it a 4 out of 5. Like it was a good solid match. I enjoyed it. People that didn't win, well, that I wanted to win didn't win. And man, the patriarchy, like I like them. Like they just play that role so well. Like, dude, I just want you to get the
The dirtbag.
crap kicked out of you, but man,
Christian is such a good bad guy, and that's why I thought his story, they're going to keep using him because he's great at whatever he's on. He was a TNT champ, and they made that story great for a while.
yeah, it's just
I also, but now that I see what happened later on in the show, I can see why they dropped him from they dropped the trios belt so they can push him into this other story. But we'll talk about that later. I also, I gave it 5 stars. I said this was a great match, great start to a pay-per-view. I really enjoyed it. I like a good ladder match. I'm still waiting for the day. My big ladder match prediction is when like a tag team, somebody just like puts their hands out and like flings their other guy up off their foot and he just grabs onto the bar and then pulls the belt. And I think that'd be a crazy cool spot if somebody could pull it off.
Didn't Chris Jericho almost do that with the Big Show one time?
I don't know.
He stood on him and like almost got the belts, but then yeah, I think I remember something like that. But yeah, that would be really
I want to
cool.
see somebody get thrown up there, like just run
Yeah, I
and
got
launch and be like, just totally skip the ladder.
And
One time.
I was impressed with the Guns. Like they just the energy, their spots, like wow, like they were just it was amazing. Like I was thoroughly impressed with them. So I was like, oh, that'd be somebody to definitely keep an eye on.
Yeah, and they were tag champs for a little while.
I was impressed. It was a good start, like you said, to the pay-per-view. So I gave it a 4 out of 5. And team that I wanted to win didn't win, but and apparently didn't Pac miss that a year ago? Like he was injured.
He was
or
injured
something?
and missed the All In show, so
Yeah. So
he got, and he's British, so he got his hometown moment. So that was cool for him.
yep.
All right, next up is the Women's World Championship. Champion Tony Storm defending
Timeless.
against Mariah May.
Timeless.
Timeless versus Glamour.
I liked the camera where it went to like black and white, like 1950s or whatever. That was
Yeah, they've been doing that for a few months. That's her whole Marilyn Monroe gimmick thing.
I hadn't seen that, so I think I picked Timeless to retain, right? But she did.
You did.
So,
And she did not. So this was my first win of the night. I picked Mariah. They did a lot of storytelling with the shoe and the blood and kind of going back and forth with that. And I don't know if they'll keep that feud going for one more or if they'll move on to other challengers.
didn't Mariah slap her mom or
She
something?
hit her own mom. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I thought it was Tony's mom at first. Cause like, there's so and so's mom, and I wasn't really paying attention to the commentators because I had a bunch of people over and it was loud. And then I was like, oh, that was her mom. She hit her own mom, so that was kind of crazy.
Descending into madness or crazy psycho or something. I don't know what the.
It was a little slower paced the first part, but then the last 2 minutes of the match really picked up with a lot of the big moves and the trademark moves, and then she copied the other girls' moves and the kickouts and the false. So I thought that was really cool when they could kind of tell a story and build it really well like that in the last few minutes.
So what's your rating on that one?
I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars, so this one was good. I liked it.
I gave it 3 because, like I said, a lot of it I haven't seen them before, so it was. I said it was above average. It's a pretty good, decent match. Just give it a solid 3.
Nice.
Like I was, it was good. I wasn't less like, what is this? Is boring. This is not good. Like, or a squash match or whatever. So I liked it. It was good.
Nice. Next up, was the FTW Championship, which the For the World Championship, as Chris Jericho calls it. Not what it was originally coined by Taz back in the day in ECW.
Yeah.
So this one we both got wrong. We both picked Jericho to retain on the
It's
preview
time for him
show.
to get a break, I think. He's been running and gunning for a long time, right?
Jericho?
Jericho.
Yeah, I think is since he's one of the like founders of AEW though, he's like I don't know if it's in his contract, but he's always got a match on every pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But he seems to be doing a good job trying to put over younger guys and,
Yeah.
and still do silly things with his characters.
Hook came out looking like some Street Fighter wannabe fighter with the patch and everything and the boxing. I was just like, is this
He always comes out like a boxer, and he had
Dude,
just
that
gotten a
was pretty
fireball to
cool.
the face
Like,
2 weeks ago.
and then I was impressed. Honestly, I haven't listened to much of Fozzy or whatever Chris Jericho's band is. I was like, that's pretty cool. I sometimes I like the live bands for the intros. You can either hit or miss, but
They sang last year their Judas song, which used to be Chris Jericho's intro.
yeah,
I've liked them. I don't know a ton of their music, but I had some of their singles on my Spotify and stuff. But I also went and saw them last year when they came through Kansas City, and it was a heck of a show. I loved it, and mostly just because I wanted to see Chris Jericho because I like him.
yeah.
But it was cool. So yeah, the band is always good. We both picked this one wrong. I was thinking Hook should win, and then you talked me out of it on the preview show. So I should have listened to my brain, but
That's what little brothers do. They always get you to do something wrong.
I gave this one 3 out of 5. I thought it was okay match.
Yeah,
It was mostly to make Hook look strong. Basically, it was a handicap match, 3-on-1, since there was no rules.
Big Cat. Oh, sorry, not Big Cass. Big Bill.
Big Bill.
Changed his name. I was like,
That's like his second or third name in AEW. So they finally landed on Big Bill.
okay, the crowd loved Big Bill, so I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I
yeah,
did like that Taz got involved at the very end and did his whatever submission move to the guy.
Yeah, so I gave it the same 3 out of 5. Pretty good, solid match. Yeah, Chris Jericho he's old, but he's still out there wrestling. So
I can't remember the other guy's name, so I wrote Big Bill and Doofus interfered a lot.
Doofus interfered.
I
Big
forgot.
Bill and Doofus.
I forgot his
All
name.
right.
All right, next up was the Tag Team Championship 3-way match with the Young Bucks, FTR, and
The Acclaimed.
the Acclaimed. All three are great tag teams. Right
Did
now,
not-
the Young Bucks are the EVP dirtbag characters, the heel characters, so it's easy to hate them, which just means they're doing a good job.
Yep.
So I don't like their characters because I'm like, they suck. But
Yep.
they're actually really good wrestlers, and I like a lot of their wrestlers.
Yep. Did we get this one both right, or did we? I don't remember.
You picked it right. You picked the Young Bucks to retain.
Finally.
I see. I'm wearing my FTR shirt. Top guys, 5-star. Wanted
Thank you.
FTR to win. I really like them. They deserve a third reign as tag team champs. They
Yeah.
always put on good shows, and they'll get it back eventually. So I was wrong on that.
My first correct pick of the night.
That was your first correct pick of the night.
Let's see. The Acclaimed, I was impressed with them too. Like some of these teams I have not, I'll be honest, like I said, I haven't watched a lot of them because I don't watch a lot of AEW. When you watch them, the way they move, the way they work together, you're like, oh wow, this is actually impressive. Like wasn't the crazy spots like we've seen before, and maybe some of the chemistry was but it was a good solid match. I was impressed. Like you said, the Young Bucks, you just love to hate them, but it took care of business. So I give it a solid 3 out of 5.
Nice. I gave it a 3 out of 5 as well. It was okay. It was almost into my good skating rating. Maybe if my team had won, it might have pushed it up a little bit more emotionally. But yeah, I thought it was a good match as well. Yeah, AEW's got a lot of good tag teams, and for a little while they've kind of focused more on the trios, and it kind of dwindled some on the tag because a lot of your tag teams became trios teams. I think they're going to build that back up some. That's kind of what they were known for when they started. So.
And didn't they have it like it was a normal, like only 2 people could be in the ring at a time? So if you got tagged in or you tagged somebody else, you could get in.
Oh yeah, I don't think it was like
like all 3 teams.
yeah. So you had to like blind tag in
Yeah.
when they got near you. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look at that. But yeah, I think it was that versus like a 3-way match.
Yeah. So I mean, it's something different. It wasn't too bad. So yeah, good solid match. Then we get to see the Young Bucks later, but we won't. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
All right. Next match was, oh, and real quick, I updated the numbers. You'll see the pay-per-view win, and I got the belt is there. So I've got one pay-per-view win to Brad's 2, and I updated our records. So we're actually pretty close. I'm 10-11 now, and Brad's 11-10.
Thank goodness Bash at Berlin for WWE. Maybe I'll get some more, a lot of my picks right again. They're really close, so I can get
Well,
back
yeah,
up.
we'll do that one later tonight. But yeah, and then
I'm
I'll be
my
two belt
numbers.
Derek.
Two belt there. No, no, ooh.
All right. Next up was the Casino Gauntlet match.
That was just hard to pick. Come on, 15, 21, 37,000.
So in kayfabe, it was 21 people. I was counting. I think 12 people came out total. So they might have been 12 or 15, but
There's New Japan Wrestling. There was just Ring of Honor, and just I was like, man,
Who
I
was-
can't even.
who was
The-
New Japan?
Zach?
Oh, Zack Sabre Jr. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot he was super popular when he came out. And I was like, why is this guy so popular? I barely know him. So I don't know a ton about New Japan other than all the AEW crossover stuff that they do with them.
Yeah, I'm just like, everybody's cheering. I'm like, should I be cheering? Hey, and this is where we got our my bold take and your dashing take correct.
Ricochet debuted. That was
Ricochet
awesome.
Debuted.
And he kept his name. I thought, I was impressed. And the big R came up on the screen, and then he came out looking jacked, and then he ran down there and just did a super cool intro set series of moves and flips and all kinds of
maybe
stuff.
him and Darby Allin for some big spots. That'd be maybe
Dude.
if you,
Ricochet can fly. He pulled off some great spots in this match.
I think I picked freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy to win.
You picked Cassidy to win. I picked Adam
It's
Page
not.
to win because I know Adam Page is going to be in the storyline going forward this fall, and I assumed wrong, but that would be a way to get him into the storyline. It'll still happen this fall or here at the pay-per-view in the next 2 weeks. Somehow he'll be involved in the main storyline here pretty soon. Or it may be a month or two later, but I think he's going to be a big part of the fall lineup for sure.
And who had Jeff Jarrett strutting in with a guitar and the wife for a return or whatever? Like
Jeff Jarrett's been in AEW for 4 or 5 months.
Oh, has he? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was just like,
He's been doing a great job just helping put over guys just like Daniel Bryan.
Like-
So, yeah, there's lots of good people. So I got the list here. We had Orange Cassidy, Kazuchika Okada. We had Nigel McGuinness. He was the big Ring of Honor return. He's like the commentator on Saturday nights.
I think that's when the crowd went bananas, right?
Crowd went bananas because he's a hometown British guy and came out looking great for an old commentator guy. Then we had Kyle O'Reilly, which is still a young guy I'm not super big on yet, but he's supposed to be the next big thing, whatever. Zack Sabre Jr., New Japan guy. Roderick Strong, which I like a lot. He just has not good booking. And then we had Jay Briscoe, who was kind of crazy. And everybody kind of got their own spot and stuff. This is kind of nice that it's not like an over-the-top Royal Rumble, so the ring gets all crowded. And everybody's doing like the fake punches or the fake dumps.
Yeah.
You know, so they could come in and go crazy, tell a little bit of story with their moves, or fight with some of they're feuding with, and then get out of the ring and rest for a few minutes and not be crowding up the screen. So that was kind of cool. Jay Briscoe, then we had Hangman Page, who I called to win it. He looked pretty good too. I thought he looked pretty strong. Then we had Jeff Jarrett, and we got a guitar shot this time. Last time I watched a pay-per-view with my buddy, and he came out with a guitar, and I said, oh, this guitar is going to smash somebody, and then he didn't do it for one time.
You're like,
Then we got Ricochet, and then came the swerves, which we were not expecting. The Christian came out all limping, like he's still tired from his match. And I was like, oh, man, I did not think of that. Like I wonder if they would have, only way to make it cooler, it was pretty cool, would have been if they showed him in the background, like a line of guys waiting to come out and him like shoving his way to the front of the line or something.
like no.
So he came out and looking to be opportunistic, bad guy heel.
Luchasaur.
Then Killswitch / Luchasaurus came out. You thought they've been teasing this turn for a long time that because Christian keeps using Luchasaurus to get what he wants, and then Luchasaurus is going to turn on him, but then no, he still helped him and literally carried him up the ladder to get the belt. Christian Cage wins the Casino Gauntlet match, gets the
world title shot or any
world title shot. It's
World
just the world title shot. So kind of like a Money in the Bank briefcase. I'm glad they didn't use it on the same night and make it kind of lame. I've read some stuff people are saying, hopefully it'll be just like you have to call it and be like, I'm challenging you on Friday or next pay-per-view or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
And make it a little more formal, but I don't know how they'll use it. They've used one or two in the past. I don't remember how they played out.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been chaotic. But I would not put it past Christian to do a Money in the Bank style cash in at the next pay-per-view or whenever the champ is tired. I ranked this one 5 out of 5. I thought it was a great match. It was entertaining and very surprising. I like surprises like that. That was just a fun, and the crowd was super into it. I wish the clock was longer than 5 seconds.
Yeah, that would be nice. I gave it a good solid 4 out of 5, and the only reason a 4, and it's probably on me because I don't know all the wrestlers, so I didn't know I did like the hey, you're not thrown, like you said, you're not thrown over the top rope and then you're out.
Right.
Everybody got a spot. Ricochet was awesome. Like you get a chance to do your thing, advance some storylines and feuds, and then, like you said, get out of the ring if you need to. But it was a good, entertaining match. But yeah, definitely a longer clock than 5. I was like 5, like what?
Yeah,
what happened?
put it up at like 8 or 10.
Yeah,
something like that. All right, we both called that one wrong, but we both got our dashing and bold takes right, which I have updated above. So I'm 2-0 on dashing takes, and you are 1-2 on bold takes. You finally got one right.
Hey, that's why they're bold. They're not always going to be right, but I'm right. I'm right.
All right, next up was the American Championship, or as like you said, the match of the night.
Oh, it was the match of the night. 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5, easy. Great match.
Dude. Will Ospreay looking like an assassin, Assassin's Creed coming out in the tie. It's just like, dude.
That was a cool tie-in.
Oh.
He looked cool, and all those people coming out doing parkour flips with him. That was cool.
And then MJF coming out like, was that Rocky 4 at the beginning? Just in your face, American, just. Oh, man, that just.
Yeah, he just douching it up.
Oh, man, that was so amazing. He plays that role so well. Just, oh, man, it was amazing. I loved it.
It was great. The only small negative that was the downside was that MJF's trunk kept giving him massive wedgies and the lines on his trunk, so it just made you like looking right at his butt crack more and more every time. And then one time he was in the ring while Ospreay was out, and he got up and he like fully adjusted his crotch right when the camera zoomed in on him, and you couldn't have timed it worse. So then the cameraman just massive crotch adjustment, and everyone was like, "Oh!" at my house.
I don't remember seeing that part. So
they probably edited out on the replay. I don't know, but it was just unlucky timing. It was humorous.
Okay, buddy.
Oh, I liked when MJF talked trash too, and he says, "You think you're special because you can do flips?" He goes, "No one gives an S about that." And then he proceeded to do a moonsault to the floor, and it's like, so MJF's like, "I can do flips too."
Some of those moves just on the edge of the ring, just man, I was like, okay, this is great. And who was it that came in and had the mask on?
Daniel Garcia. He's been gone a while, but
okay.
Yeah. So that's developing some old storyline and a new storyline, and I forget what his beef was with MJF. Oh, MJF beat him up really big, and he was supposed to get a title shot, and there was lying and betrayal and stuff. But
Ospreay can never pull like his special finisher move because he felt bad or whatever.
So do you know that story? Like,
I know some of it, but not.
So supposedly, he in kayfabe he hurt Daniel Bryan with it when he pulled it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes he did it to Kenny Omega one time, and it looked bad. Like it looked like he hurt him, but Kenny was fine. He did it to Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan took it just fine, but Daniel Bryan, if you read up on him, he likes to lie to the people, and he likes to play injury angles a lot and use them in his storylines. Yeah. There's all that. So, but there was also, before the match, Bryan told him, just go do it. Go use it. Go win.
Oh, I gotcha.
Or maybe that was Wednesday, but they showed that. So Daniel Bryan told him to do it, and he was conflicted, but he did it, and he won. I wrote there was a lot of good action in this.
And the pyro. Ooh, there's some good pyro on that one. Like, hey.
Oh, yeah. I wrote Ospreay's moves are insane. Looking good and making MJF look good. Like, they both made each other look good.
Oh, they did great. Match of the night. Like, amazing. I was just like, I'm going to go watch that one again. Like, this is awesome.
It's good. Ospreay has one of my favorite moves where he runs and, like, kicks the guy in the chest and does a backflip on the ground. Mm-hmm. Backflip just right there in the standing, like, just kicks them and backflips off their chest and then does an enziguri up to the head, and it just looks so cool. I'm just like, how can you do that? Like, how can you be that athletic?
It was amazing. I loved it. Like, just hands down, great.
Very
And
cool.
did you pick Osprey? I know I picked MJF.
I did. I picked Osprey to win, and you picked MJF, and that is what I think won me the night. Yes, because the next two we got wrong, and the last one we both tied on. So that put
Hey,
me up.
I'm okay with that because it was a heck of a match. Like I have no complaints at all. Like I loved it.
Yeah, and MJF always puts on good matches, and Osprey always puts on good matches. All
Welcome
right.
back. Just kidding.
Next match was the TBS Championship, and any match that had to follow the last American Championship match that was just insane, the crowd went nuts for, was doomed to be a yawner of a match in
This
the
is the
bathroom break.
break.
The bathroom break match. I went to the store during this match.
I regret watching it. 2 out of 5. Just
I gave it 2 out of 5 as well. I was like, this was just meh.
uh,
I don't like Mercedes Moné. I think she's overhyped and
She
overpaid.
makes a lot of Monet, but
Well,
that's
yeah.
about it.
I'm just waiting for her to do good. I thought for sure they'd give DMD the belt since she's coming back, but then now that I listened to another podcast, I was like, well, they have another pay-per-view here in 2 weeks in Chicago, and they started a lot of this in Chicago, so she will likely win it. She'll earn a rematch somehow in the next 2 weeks, and will likely win it at that pay-per-view.
All right,
And
so I'll
maybe
pick that
Mercedes
for
will go on
next
to
pay-per-view.
do
Just kidding.
other stuff. But so I can only hope that she wins it soon or does something cool. Because I like Britt Baker. I think she's a good character. But I think that was just a tough spot to be in after the match before it. And it was just a yawner.
She did give a shout out, a head nod to the late great Eddie Guerrero with getting their muscle kicked out the ring, from the side because she faked like she got hit with a chair or a belt, whatever. Then
Oh, yes.
that was about the highlight of it. It was a yawner, just So
Yeah, I didn't think her entrance was very cool either with the carriage and the dog. And
yeah, that was.
I get how you got to do some silly entrances occasionally and stuff. But I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
All right, next up was the TNT Championship.
coffin match.
Champion
Jack Perry.
Jack Perry. My brain went blank. Jack Perry versus
Jack
Darby
who?
Allin. Darby Allin was previously undefeated in coffin matches.
I know.
So I picked Darby, and I thought for sure they'd let him have it back.
Huh?
He may get it back soon. I don't know. But this match got cut for time
Yeah.
from the card. You could tell it felt rushed. It was like 11 minutes.
A little bit, yeah.
I wish they would have cut time from the previous match, which was 16 minutes, but
Yeah.
whatever. You could tell it felt rushed. Like there was no time for a story to build back and one to start linning and all that stuff. But so they kind of just went out and hit their big spots. And I did think the body bag in the coffin was kind of a nice touch. I hadn't seen that before. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, how's he going to kick out of that? And somehow he did.
Get out of that. So the only reason I gave it a 4 out of 5 is because the Stinger, Mr. Sting, returned, and man, I even watched it again today, even days later, and I knew it was coming up, and the goosebumps still just rose all over the arms. I was like, oh my gosh,
It was
it's
cool.
Sting. It's like
Did you watch his retirement one from the pay-per-view in March?
I need to go rewatch that. Yeah,
It was so
amazing.
good. The match was so good.
But that's what I love about wrestling, like those returns and those, like watching Sting when we were, really young, and just like
Yeah.
these years later, you're like,
That was so
Oh
cool
my
when he
gosh.
came over to AEW, and he's undefeated in AEW for 2 years, and he did all tag matches. But that's fine. He's 50. He's like our dad's age almost, and he's still
That's
jumping
pretty
through
cool.
tables and stuff. And
that's what I love. Like I've only probably ever felt, usually felt that a lot with Stone Cold, switching over, but like with Hulk Hogan, like seeing him in like Kansas City, it's just like, oh my gosh, this is like people you've watched,
Yeah.
20, 30 years ago. It's just like, oh, this is cool.
some of those nostalgia moments are just that's impossible. That could never ever happen. Never say never in wrestling. It might take 30 years, but the impossible can happen in wrestling.
So yeah, lots of good spots.
I gave it 3 out of 5. I thought it was okay. I wish it would have been a little longer. Lots of good spots. I think they'll run that one back again sometime
Yeah.
soon.
I made it a 4 with the Stinger, and just like, oh,
Yeah.
just
And he came out with
sounds
Metallica
cool.
music. I like that.
Yeah, so it was pretty entertaining. I want to see Darby and Ricochet go at it with some kind of ladder match or something. That'd be entertaining.
I was looking to see, like, did they, like, move the camera away and let him crawl out? Because they came out, the Young Bucks came out with gasoline. They poured gasoline all over it. And I was
Petrol.
like, was there a
Petrol.
false bottom? Did he crawl out when the camera wasn't looking?
Oh, yeah.
Because you would have seen that on social media. People would have been like,
Yeah.
look, he crawled away before they set it on fire. But no, and then that's right when Sting came out. So Sting made the save.
Oh,
That was
it's
awesome.
Sting.
So we both called that one wrong, but that's okay. Sting made up for it.
Yep, he sure did.
All right, and then finally the main event of the night, the
It's the final
AEW
countdown.
World Championship. Final countdown, Daniel Bryan challenging for Swerve Strickland, the champion. Career versus title.
I gave it another. Let's see. This one is another 4. Like it was good. Just Bryan Danielson just knows how to energize the crowd.
He's such a good storyteller.
Like just golly, you're just like, man.
He can do the technical wrestling. He can do the hard hitting wrestling. He bled like crazy. Good grief.
Oh, I know. It's like I didn't. It's like, did he? I don't think he bladed himself. Like,
Oh, he bladed for sure.
okay, I thought so because like it didn't at first, and they're like
No,
cut away, and it's like
if they've cut away, like,
blood.
and
I was
it's
like, wait, what?
he bladed. I'm 99% sure he bladed on that. I wrote down. I thought the slow build was great. It was slow for a while, and then kept getting slowly more. Sometimes that's the way a good 25-minute match should be, or so.
Yeah.
I thought when Danielson did the no sells, like I don't remember what move it was, but he started no selling it, like kind of like his version of the Hulk up, and like I think those can be super good storytelling when used appropriately and sparingly. So that was good. Even and then Swerve had some good no sells back.
Yep, with the knees, just like, oh yeah, nothing. And didn't Adam Page get involved?
Adam Page came out and like because he was still all crazy, he wants Swerve, he wants to fight Swerve so bad because they've got a humongous rivalry. They've had at least 3 pay-per-view matches back and forth.
And then all the security, I'm like, oh, this one has security now, like 40 security guys.
So that, like I said, Swerve Hangman Page will be in the main event picture this fall. Too good of a character not to be. He's been champ before, and he probably will be again. And he was a good champ.
Yeah, it was an entertaining match. Like it was good. Like
it was really good.
And
then I was surprised they went with a submission for the win and not his knee move to the face. But
true. I was like, ooh.
Daniel Bryanson gets him in his move, the label lock, and Swerve taps that.
Or whatever, keep name change. And then good old JR on the commentary.
He's not doing good, man. He's getting old and in the hospital all the time. But I love hearing JR's voice when they can get him out there because that just goes right.
I called him 25 years ago. I've been with him his whole career.
I like his podcast too.
Since then.
But yeah, just hearing JR's voice on commentary is just like that brings you right back to 8th grade, junior high, doing the Monday night slipping shows between USA and TNT. Like, what's going on on the 2 shows? So yeah, Bryan Danielson wins. We both picked that. I ranked it 5 out of 5. That was a great match. I think it's awesome that Daniel Bryan won. It was a great big story. How good of a wrestler do you have to be to get a storybook moment like that in 2 companies within the last 2 years? He got the WrestleMania 30, or was it 31? Big moment.
Yeah.
He won, came back and won. And then he got this big, huge moment here in AEW. So he's been champion at both big companies.
Did it feel like kind of a minor ripoff of the Cody Rhodes story with the family getting in the ring and everybody else? Like, that's what the WWE guy mind in me goes to. I'm like, hey, they're just kind of ripping this off because they want to try to do it bigger or better or whatever. Like,
no, I don't think so necessarily. I mean, because Cody is not the first person to ever celebrate with his family or the bunch of baby faces come out.
I think Claudio, it's like, why did
they just sent out a few baby faces to help fill the ring and cheer?
Okay, whatever.
But yeah, no, Cody's not the first person to do that. Probably just the most memorable and the most recent. So that's just maybe some recency bias. So I wouldn't say necessarily a straight ripoff, but it was just a big moment. So we're gonna celebrate it.
I'll have to watch more AEW and keep up and read more of the stories and everything that's going on.
So real quick anecdote. I have not watched Dynamite from last night yet. I'm going to watch it later tonight, hopefully, or at least start it. But I did read that Daniel Bryan came out and talked and said he's going to remain full-time as long as he's got the belt. And when he loses the belt, that's when he's going to transition to part-time wrestling.
Hopefully it's not in 2 weeks.
Hopefully not in 2 weeks. Hopefully he'll make it to either Wrestle Dream in October or World's End in December.
So how do you start any new feuds? I guess with 3 shows a week.
Well, apparently Jack Perry came out and challenged him, I guess, which was like, but you're the TNT champ. Why are you challenging for the... I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. So that that was like 3 seconds I saw on social media in passing.
Yeah.
So All in
Well,
all,
you were right. You won it. I mean, it was a good pay-per-view. It was entertaining. Even having to split it up and watch it over some time because life gets busy, like you said. Just
yeah,
I enjoyed it.
it was a great pay-per-view. I really enjoyed it. I think they're really making All In kind of their big WrestleMania show of the year. It used to be
Yeah.
Double or Nothing, but I think they're just kind of, it feels like, and everybody's kind of talking like All In is now their biggest show of
It's
every
in
year.
Texas next year.
Yeah. So, oh, you know what's close though this year? The Royal Rumble.
Oh,
It's in Indianapolis. We could drive there.
it's in January.
It's in February 1st.
February. Oh my, that's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
It
Anyways,
is weird.
so AEW All In 2024 in Wembley. How would you rank the pay-per-view overall? I gave it 5
You're the
stars.
champ.
It was great.
Yeah.
Seven good
say 5 out of
matches.
5.
7 good matches, 1 yawner, and then one that was just okay. The Hook Jericho match was okay, but
Yeah.
only 2 minor matches that weren't amazing, and the rest were awesome. Stories were awesome. The moves were awesome.
Yeah.
Osprey and Danielson winning, awesome.
Match of the night. I'd give it 5 out of 5. Like it was good. It was entertaining. That many matches in that short of time, and it doesn't feel too rushed. Like oh crap, we just got to be like, okay, here's a squash match. So,
Yeah, I'm not a fan of squash matches. Once in a while they're okay, but
but yeah,
all right, that's gonna do it for our All In show.
I'll get it back. I'll get the belt back. It'll come back right here.
I'm okay if you're not good at AEW. All right, that's our All In show. Let us know what you think. Hit us up on social media at Wrestling Brothers Breakdown here on YouTube.
Yes.
Comment, like, tell us what, subscribe, hit that bell, all that fun stuff. At WB Breakdown Show on X and Instagram. Put clips. I tweet about wrestling stuff on there. Any feedback, questions, suggestions, arguments? What do you think of our opinions? What do you not think of our opinions?
Watch me get a bold tick right. Woo woo! I did.
So
finally.
that will do it for our All In show. So we will catch you guys next time. Next pay-per-view coming up is WWE Bash at Berlin.
I bid you adieu, goodbye, and good night, or whatever.
Later.